Welcome to the party, pal. Your friendly neighborhood master of chaos here. It is that most wonderful time of year when the Criterion Collection is 50% off at Barnes & Noble's, both online and in stores. And I'm here to, first of all, say hello. How are you? Hope things are well. But I'm going to give you some 5 deep-cut horror movie recommendations for your Criterion Collection. Your specific Criterion Collection. I mean, unless you're collecting all of them, that's great. Good luck with that. That's a lot of work, but and a lot of money. I'm going to give you some deep-cut recommendations for movies that you absolutely need to own in your collection if you are a horror fan.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hello, motherfucker.
Now, mileage may vary. You may have a ton of Criterion movies. You may not have that many. You may be specifically looking for stuff that's outside the box. So I'm not going to mention movies that are bigger, big studio movies that, everybody knows about in this list. I'm talking about sort of the more obscure, foreign, outside the box type horror movies that I was personally impacted by, and I think you are going to fucking enjoy. So, before I get to the list, do me a favor. Smash the like. If you're new here, do subscribe so you and I can hang out again. If you love physical media, if you like Criterion Collection, if you like reviews, if you like just talking smack about cinema, join me. I'd love to have you here going forward. Okay, let's get into it. Here are my top 5 must-have horror movie titles from the Criterion Collection. Number 1, Masaki Kobayashi's Kwaidan. After more than a decade of sober political dramas and socially minded period pieces, the great Japanese director Masaki Kobayashi shifted gears dramatically for this rapturously stylized quartet of ghost stories featuring colorfully surreal sets and luminous cinematography. These haunting tales of demonic comeuppance and spiritual trials, adapted from writer Kaido Hearn's collection of Japanese folklore, are existentially frightening and meticulously crafted. This version of Kwaidan is the original 3-hour cut, never before released in the United States. I absolutely love this movie. Beautiful color photography. This is from 1965, available in Blu-ray and DVD. Obviously, if you have a Blu-ray player, get the goddamn Blu-ray. It looks amazing. Audio commentary with film historian Stephen Prince. Interview with Kobayashi from 1993, an interview with the assistant director, as well as a piece about the author Kaido Hearn. Lastly, you do get an essay by critic Jeffrey O'Brien. This is a must. If you are a horror fan, this is the number 1 recommendation I have for you. Get your hands on Kwaidan. It is a jaw-dropper. Such a beautifully produced movie. I mean, honestly, I don't think there's anyone who watches this who will not like it, because it is so wonderful. It's essentially an anthology film, but just a Japanese folklore, ghost stories kind of thing. Man, it is insanely good. Number 2, Herc Harvey's Carnival of Souls. A young woman, Candace Hillegas, in a small Kansas town survives a drag race accident, then agrees to take a job as a church organist in Salt Lake City. En route, she is haunted by a bizarre apparition that compels her toward an abandoned lakeside pavilion. Made by industrial filmmakers on a small budget, the eerily effective B-movie classic Carnival of Souls was intended to have the look of a Bergman and the feel of a Cocteau, and with its strikingly used locations and spooky organ score, it succeeds. Herc Harvey's macabre masterpiece gained a cult following on late-night television and continues to inspire filmmakers today. Absolutely a masterpiece of black and white horror cinema. 78 minutes, 1962, Blu-ray and DVD. Special features include select scene audio commentary featuring Herc Harvey and screenwriter John Clifford, interview with Dana Gould, who's a big genre fan, new video essay by film critic David Cairns, The Movie That Wouldn't Die, a documentary on the 1989 reunion of the film's cast and crew, the Carnival Tour 2000 update on the film's locations, excerpts from movies made by the Centron Corporation, deleted scenes, outtakes, history of the Salt Air Resort. This is the one in Salt Lake City. Most of the movie was shot there. Beautiful looking place. Then lastly, sort of, referencing Severin here, we get an essay by writer and programmer Kirla Janice. Look, I'm not telling you anything new here. Carnival of Souls has been around. If you haven't seen it, now is your chance to get your hands on this masterpiece of a movie. It's so damn good. And if you've seen it before, then you know it's good. So tell other people to grab a copy of this movie because they need it in their lives. Number 3, Michael Haneke's Funny Games. And if I mispronounce the name, I apologize. I'm not sure if it's Haneke or Hanukkah. Well, I'm going to go with Haneke. Michael Haneke's most notorious provocation, Funny Games, spares no detail in its depiction of the agony of a bourgeois family held captive at their vacation home by a pair of white-gloved young men. In a series of escalating games, the sadistic duo subject their victims to unspeakable physical and psychological torture over the course of a night. A home invasion thriller in which the genre's threat of bloodshed is made stomach-churningly real. The film ratchets up shocks even as its executioners interrupt the action to address the audience. That's true, that does happen. Drawing queasy attention to the way that cinema milks pleasure from pain and stokes our appetite for atrocity. With this controversial treatise on violence and entertainment, Haneke issued a summation of his cinematic philosophy, implicating his audience in a spectacle of unbearable cruelty. Blu-ray and DVD, absolutely not an easy movie to watch, but if you like your movies a little harder than normal, you will enjoy this movie. From 1997, 109 minutes. Well, I guess enjoy is a strong word. I wouldn't say enjoy, but I think you will get enjoyment out of it in some way. Let's go with that. A new interview with Haneke and actor Arno Frisch. New interview with film historian Alexander Horwath. You get a press conference from the 1997 Cannes Film Festival, plus an written essay by critic Bilgi Ibidi, which I think that's how you pronounce that. It's not a movie for everybody. It's intense. It's hard to watch, but Funny Games is absolutely a masterpiece, and it's a horror movie that people don't talk about enough coming from Criterion, but I think it deserves to be watched, especially for all those people who think that the Criterion Collection is just a bunch of pretentious shit. Which, yeah, there are a lot of pretentious things on here, but goddamn, they also put out fucking Funny Games. From 1968, number 4 is Hiroshi Teshigahara's Woman in the Dunes. Now, while technically not a horror movie, this movie scared the shit out of me. I thought it was a terrifying story. I've never been more scared for a main character ever. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. One of 1960's great international art house sensations, Woman in the Dunes, was for many the grand unveiling of the surreal, idiosyncratic world of Hiroshi Teshigahara. Eiji Okada plays an amateur entomologist who has left Tokyo to study an unclassified species of beetle found in a vast desert. When he misses his bus back to civilization, he is persuaded to spend the night with a young widow in her hut at the bottom of a sand dune. What results is one of cinema's most unnerving and palpably erotic battles of the sexes, as well as a nightmarish depiction of everyday life as a Sisyphean, oh my fucking god. What? Sisyphean struggle, Jesus. An achievement that garnered Teshigahara an Academy Award nomination for Best Director. Man, this movie's fucking no joke. Blu-ray and DVD, 147 minutes, beautiful, stunning, jaw-dropping black and white cinematography. You get a video essay on the film from 2007 by James Quant, 4 short films by Teshigahara. You get Teshigahara and Abe, a 2007 documentary, a trailer, and then an essay by film scholar Adi Bach. And then it also includes a 1978 interview with Teshigahara. For those of you that have claustrophobia or have a fear of being stuck anywhere, this movie will be one of the most difficult watches you've ever done, but you simply must watch it. You must experience this movie. It is phenomenal. Not an easy watch. It is essentially just an erotic thriller, but, Japanese style. But what happens to the man and what he has to do, it's terrifying. One of the most terrifying experiences I've ever had with a blind buy through the Criterion Collection. Absolutely terrifying stuff. Right up there with Funny Games. Is a disturbing movie that is just simply well made. And lastly, number 5 is a twofer. So technically you're getting 6 recommendations, but they're joined by director. First, let's talk about Kuro Neko, Kaneto Shindo's film. In this poetic and atmospheric horror fable set in a village in war-torn medieval Japan, a malevolent spirit has been ripping at the throats of itinerant samurai. When a military hero is sent to dispatch the unseen force, he finds that he must struggle with his own personal demons as well. I like how they tiptoe around the plot there. It's very good. Doesn't give anything away. Oh, so good. From Kaneto Shindo, director of the terror classic Onibaba, which we'll be talking about in a moment, Kuro Neko is a spectacularly eerie twilight tale with a shocking feminist angle evoked through ghostly special effects and exquisite cinematography. Exquisite indeed. One of the most beautiful movies ever made. One of those most beautiful black and white movies I think I've ever seen. Blu-ray and DVD, 1968, 99 minutes. Get it, get it, get it. Such a beautiful movie. So creepy. So unbelievably atmospheric. When you think about creepy black and white foggy forests, this is the goddamn movie, man. A video interview with director Kaneto Shindo from the Directors Guild. A new interview with critic Tadao Sato. And then you get a booklet featuring new essays by Maitland McDonough and an excerpt from film scholar Joan Mellon's 1972 interview with Shindo. This is an absolutely atmospheric film. It is one of the most beautiful black and white movies, like I've said. But because we are talking Kaneto Shindo, let's talk about his other masterpiece black and white film. That would be number 5, part 2, Onibaba. This was actually the first Criterion movie I ever owned. I bought the DVD back in the Dizzy when Criterion was just sort of getting out in the ether, and I found it at Virgin Records. Onibaba blew me away. To this day, it's one of my favorite movies. Beautiful black and white photography again. Very much a perfect double feature with Kuro Neko, where I think Kuro Neko acts more like a classic creepy ghost, a horror story. Onibaba's opposite, where it's really more of an erotic, Japanese erotic thriller with paranormal overtones, but it's really more of an erotic thriller, but again, creepy and freaky, and where the story goes is really where the disturbing power of this movie lies. Let's do the read-up here. Deep in the windswept marshes of war-torn medieval Japan, an impoverished older woman and her daughter-in-law murder lost samurai and sell their belongings for the most meager of sustenance. When a bedraggled neighbor returns from battle, lust, jealousy, and rage threaten to destroy the trio's tenuous existence before an ominous, ill-gotten demon mask seals their horrifying fate. Driven by primal emotions, dark eroticism, a frenzied score by Hikaru Hayashi, and stunning images, both lyrical and macabre, Kaneto Shindo's chilling folktale Onibaba conjures a nightmarish vision of humankind's deepest desires and impulses. Absolute banger. Blu-ray and DVD from 1964, 102 minutes. Must have this in your collection. Absolutely, you must. Audio commentary from 2001 featuring the director and some of the actors. Interview from 2003 with Shindo, on-location footage, trailers, stills gallery, and then you can also get an essay by film critic Elena Lazik, and a 2001 director's statement by Shindo, and a version of the Buddhist fable that inspired the film. All that is in the booklet. Yeah, I had to combine Kuro Neko and Onibaba together. Of course, they're both Shindo movies, but they both are very spiritually similar, very rich, lush, dreadful black and white cinema. And oh my god, when we're talking horror in the Criterion Collection, you must absolutely have these two masterpieces on your shelf. Something like hot coffee on a dark and stormy night, which it just so happens to be. I might even pop in Kuro Neko tonight. It's been a while, and kind of puts me in the mood, if you know what I'm saying, and I think you do. Well, I hope you enjoyed that list. Now, like I said, I didn't mention a lot of the heavy hitters. I plan to do a part 2 of the horror titles. If there's a specific genre you'd like me to focus on my top 5s, I'm going to be doing that for the rest of the month, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on those. I'm going to be doing one for action, silent films, samurai stuff. If there's a specific genre you'd like me to focus on, I can most likely pick 5 from pretty much any genre on the Criterion Collection. I'm a big Criterion guy. It is my favorite label. So thank you for joining me for this little look at the deep cuts of horror. And I hope you found something interesting to pick up and enjoy and creep you out sufficiently. Okay, my friend, take care of yourself. I love you very much. This has been your Fun Neighborhood Mastercast. I hope to see you soon. Remember to leave me a like on your way out the door. Talk soon.